This is Tier 3, Lesson 3, Greatest Common Factor of Polynomials. So we want to factor out the GCF first. So this has a leading coefficient of 1, so there's no number we could divide out of all of these, but there is an x in all three, so I can divide out an x. So then I'll be left with x to the fourth minus 15x squared plus 54. Now I want to factor the remaining polynomial. There's a couple things that I could do, but what I'm going to do is use my rational roots theorem. So my p, we have 54, so 1 and 54, 2 and 27, 3 and 18, and we divide by q, right, factors of 1, so we divide all of those by 1, which isn't going to do anything. So I get plus and minus all of those. So I'm going to start finding some roots by plugging in 1. So that didn't work. Let's try -1. That didn't work. Let's try 2. Now let's try 3. So 3 is a root, which makes me suspect that -3 is a root too, so I'm going to try that as well. So -3 is also a root, so now I can use that for my long division. So that's 3 as a root, right? Remember we write it as x minus the root. So I multiply by x cubed to both. And I subtract. This cancels. Those are not like terms. Negative, negative makes this positive. 3x cubed minus 15x squared. I just brought that down. Now I'm going to multiply by 3x squared. 3x squared times x is 3x cubed. 3x squared times -3 gives me -9x squared. And subtract. -15 minus -9, so plus 9, will be -6x squared. Going to bring down 54. -6x times x. Negative times negative makes it positive. 6 times 3 is 18, so we got 18x. Cancel. Not like terms, so -18 x plus 54, and now one more should do it. -18 times x, and negative times a negative is a positive. 18 times 3 is 54. So when we subtract, it'll cancel, and it worked. So now we have another factor, and now we need to do long division on this. Well, we know that x plus 3 is also going to work, right? That root of -3, we already tested it. So x squared we subtract, cancellation. This will also cancel, so we can skip down to bringing both of these. And -6 times x. -6 times 3 is -18. So it works. So now if I take all of my roots, I had this x that I never broke down. I broke down that. I had x minus 3, I had x plus 3, and now I have x squared minus 6. Okay, and now I want to try and factor x squared minus 6. Well, if I factor it with my AC and B, my AC 1 times negative 6 is negative 6, and my B is 0, right? It's not there. Well, nothing's going to work for that, so I could leave it alone. And this would be completely factored. I know that was a lot of work, but we're putting all of this together.